What is going on, bro? Welcome to the video. Nothing like an early morning little bike cruise with the homie Dave.
Absolutely nothing like it.
Getting the day started. Shout out to Kevin on the angles. Man, y'all didn't see it because Julia had to go. Julia was driving the Audi. Kevin was literally hanging out the trunk filming that intro.
Yeah, risking my life for the angle.
For Beast Nation.
Yeah, 100%.
So drop a thank you for Kevin in the comments. Only thing better than an early morning bike ride is an early morning bike ride plus some delicious breakfast, tacos. We're at Taco Deli. It's a chain. In my mind, it's like same level as Torchy's. Some tacos better, some worse than Torchy's. What do you think?
I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
All right, so Mexican tacos being like a 4 out of 10. This is 6.5?
Mexican tacos being a 400 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Anyway, today we want to talk to y'all about a few things that straight up make you ugly to girls.
Both of us were guilty of these for years and we didn't even realize it.
And chances are, one or two of these could definitely apply to you. So listen up and let's get started. So y'all let me know if this sounds familiar. When I was first starting to work on my dating life, whenever I would notice a girl, at first, I start to see more opportunities. I'd notice a cute girl by herself at the gym or the grocery store, but I just would be so not sure about what I should say. So, maybe I kind of make eye contact with her a bunch of times or walk near her at the gym or at the grocery store. I'd pass by her a few times in the aisle and usually I just wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, and then even if I did manage to get a girl's number, I would second guess myself every time I sent a text message. Like, is it too soon to ask her out? What should I do? I'd text her for 3 weeks and it wouldn't go anywhere.
Or I remember when I first started getting girls, back to my place, a little bit further down the line, I'd get there, I'd maybe give them a glass of wine or a drink, sit down on the sofa next to them, and then I'd be like, when should I make the move? Now maybe's the time to make the move? Oh, wait, maybe not. And then,
You end up watching a whole season of Netflix while you're sitting there on the couch.
And I always thought this was just like an internal thing inside my head that I was just doubting that anything would work, but I wasn't realizing this was also making girls perceive me as weird and awkward. Think about it. If you keep making eye contact with a girl that you're going to approach, at first for her maybe it's exciting and she wants you to come talk to her, but then it's like, this guy is weird, this guy's creepy, why does he keep looking at me?
Yeah, or if you get a girl's number and you send her texts for weeks, sending her weird jokes, weird memes, she's gonna be like, why is this guy sending me all this weird stuff? Does he want to go out with me? What's going on?
And really the lesson that took me just way too long to learn is that I'm never gonna look back and regret an action that I took. I am gonna regret the actions that I didn't take. Like if a girl came over, she sat there for 2 hours, she went home, that's gonna sit with me for a few weeks, maybe a few months, regretting that.
Yeah, it's a lot better to make the wrong move decisively rather than think about the right move for 100 years and overthink it and never do anything.
Yeah, you gotta realize it's never too early if you're talking to a girl to be like, hey, look, I gotta run, but do you wanna hang out sometime? It's never too early if you're texting a girl to be like, do you wanna hang out later this week? Okay, cool. Is Wednesday or Thursday night better for you? Even if you're on a date with a girl, it's never too early to be like, hey, you wanna come back to my place? In some instances, the girl might not be ready.
Yeah, but she's not gonna penalize you for moving too fast, because what you're doing is you're showing her that you're a guy who goes for what he wants. And that's super attractive. It comes across super confident.
Yeah, it's a mistake that actually she's gonna view favorably versus if you just stood on a date with her for 3-4 hours until she felt really awkward and had to excuse herself home. That's what's gonna lose you the girl. If you're watching this video right now, I'm assuming that there's some aspect of your dating life that you're not fully happy with. I mean, either that, or you just like the dope drone shots, which I appreciate. But you have to realize it took me years to figure this stuff out. The first couple of years, I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos, reading a bunch of books about dating, but like we talked about, I was paralyzed, I was afraid, I was not actually implementing anything. And even once I worked up the courage to start taking action, it took me years more because I kept hitting these roadblocks.
Yeah, once I started approaching girls, I'd always get rejected because I didn't know what to say. Once I started getting numbers, didn't know what to text, so I couldn't get the date. And once I started getting dates, I didn't know how to close a deal, so it would pretty much end there. And all this was super painful.
Yeah, you're missing all these opportunities, and that's why we wanted to let y'all know that we're looking for a few more motivated guys to bring into our private coaching program, the Beast Dating Coaching Program. And as part of this, not only are you gonna get a step-by-step roadmap that shows you everything from the approach to the close, how to get more matches online, but we're gonna have multiple live calls every week where you can directly access myself, Dave, Julia, a few other experts we've brought on so that we can help y'all work past any roadblocks, any obstacles that you face.
I think I had like a month, maybe a month and a half of just like 4 dates a week. Boom.
I saved rather at least a decade of knowledge and experience from just being on these calls. And
just between the amount of dates that I've been on in the past like 2 months compared to the last like 10 years.
Now I'm dating like, you know, accountants and lawyers and doctors and nurses, and it's like that was not a thing.
As you can see, a lot of guys who have not been getting dates for years are able to successfully schedule multiple dates per week just a few weeks into the program. So if this sounds like something you want to be a part of, you can click the first link in description to fill out a quick application, and assuming everything checks out, then someone from our team will be in touch with you shortly to discuss next steps. That is the first link in description. I'll see you there. Gains, bro. Workout complete. So no one's else gonna get in the pool with me?
Nope.
I'll get in later.
Also, Julia, say what's up to the nation.
What up, guys?
Now, there's something else that I used to do without knowing that made me a lot less attractive to girls, and that is that I didn't recognize the signs they were giving me that they were into me or that they weren't into me, and this led me to, you know, spend a lot of time trying to talk to girls who clearly were not into me, and that just made me look more needy and desperate and awkward, and vice versa. There were some times where now looking back, like, the girl was clearly into me, but I just didn't know and I never made the move.
Yeah, the problem is you didn't have the experience to have the social awareness you needed to kind of figure out what was going on. But luckily, there's some easy ways to figure that out.
So the first thing you can do is what's called a physical compliance test. This is actually very easy, very powerful. And this would be more in like a date environment where you're hanging out with the girl, not when you just approached her. And once you've been there for a minute talking to her, this is also a good conversation topic. Girls usually have like some bracelets or some rings on their hand, and you can be like, yo, tell me the story behind these bracelets. What's up with that?
And if a girl is interested in you, she's going to keep her hand there longer. She's going to be interested in the conversation. But if she's not, she's going to either pull her hand away or she's going to freeze and feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, she's not going to say that much. Another way you can do this is if, let's say you're sitting next to her, which is always a good idea, first date, sit next to her at the bar. And after being there for a minute, you can kind of allow your thigh to come in contact lightly with her thigh and see what does she do. And
same thing, if she's into it, she's gonna kind of lean a little bit closer, allow that touch to stay. But if she's not, she's gonna pull away immediately and feel really weird.
So you can also use verbal compliance tests. So this is basically when you ask her some open-ended questions, gauge her response, gauge how invested she's getting into the conversation. So a great thing you can do on a first date is ask, what do you find sexiest in a guy?
And if she's really feeling the guy, she's gonna answer it and be like this, this, and this. But if she's not, she's gonna try to avoid the question and move on to something else.
Yeah, and if she is interested, she might even ask it back to you. Now, another thing you can do is deliberately create silence and see, is she comfortable with that silence or is she not so much?
Yeah, if she's uncomfortable, usually she'll look at her phone or pick her fingernails, but if she is really into you, she's gonna deliberately take the time to start the conversation back up.
Now, just to be clear, these are all things that you should probably begin doing about 10 to 15 minutes into a hangout, because that's when the initial nerves have calmed down. But the most important thing is to actually take advantage of the information. If a girl's consistently giving you cold responses, it's gonna be best to cut your losses. Very rarely do girls turn around. It's better just to save your time. But if she's giving you consistently warm responses, take that as a huge confidence boost. She's into you. She wants you to escalate things. Escalate things sooner rather than later, because sometimes she's hot, and if you don't take advantage, she cools off. So that was my first time driving in the backseat of the Tesla. I love that. Julia, let's see a little parking spot check. It looks like you actually made it in the lines this time.
In the lines this time? I'm a great parker.
Have you ever had Sarku Japan?
Nope, I haven't. That's not when I tried this.
Yeah, I'm curious, what's better, this or breakfast tacos?
I don't know, I haven't tried it.
There's only one right answer.
Probably go for breakfast taco, man.
That's the right answer. That being said, Sarku Japan is pretty dope, man. It's just like good chicken. It's none of that Chipotle chunky chicken. You never had that Chipotle?
I had that Chipotle, but not the chunky chicken. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, man, I can't do Chipotle anymore. It's like 1 out of every 3 times I get like bad chicken. All right, a third thing that's gonna make you a lot less attractive to girls is if you try and go way too over the top way too early. So the normal example of this would be the first date trying to take the girl out to a real nice dinner to impress her, or trying to plan the whole day where you guys are gonna go to the aquarium, then to sushi, then to ice cream. You gotta realize when you're doing this, you're kind of coming from this mindset of like, oh, I'm not gonna be enough on my own, so I need to win her over with all these external things.
The other big problem is it's also just not efficient. Like, it puts a ton of pressure on first you in terms of like, oh, you feel like you need to dress up, you need to do all these things, you need to have this like conversation with her from across the table and invest 3 hours of your time. Same type of thing with the girl. She knows she can't just leave if it's awkward, so she's a lot more likely to flake, and also a lot less likely to go home with you at the end because it is so formal.
This is one that I'm not actually guilty of. Actually, I did take a girl on a dinner date once. It was earlier in my days. I didn't have a lot of money. It wasn't to like the nicest restaurant. It was this Mexican place. And it also happened that day we went back to her place and sat on her sofa for 2 hours, and that was kind of the end of that. I kept seeing her because I knew her, but I was like friend zoned after that. And I know this is one where girls are gonna tell you, no, I want to be taken on a really nice date because I like that thoughtfulness. And it's not that you're not trying to be thoughtful. It's that when you do this, you're gonna seem very invested, and on a subconscious level that early on, if the girl notices, oh man, this guy's really invested in me, she feels the pressure to reciprocate. This is why also when girls come on super strong, a lot of times you're like, I don't know about this, and that's just gonna make success a lot less likely.
It's a lot better to keep it as casual as possible for as long as possible. So this might mean first date, you get drinks or coffee and a walk in the park, nice and chill. Second date, maybe you go to the gym, go back to your house, explore the games together. The third date, you get some Netflix and chilling, and you do that for a couple of months. You let it gradually build.
Yeah, you want to give the girl the space to not feel pressured so she can really, develop those feelings and that attraction for you, if that's the route you want to take it, because that's when, 2 months, 3 months later, she's like, hey, we have to have that talk, like, I want this to be exclusive now. That's never gonna happen if you're always just jumping in, balls to the wall from day one.
We did it in the kitchen this morning.
Over the dishwasher, I mean, that is unfathomable.
What's in my door? Everyone stand down.
Miss Waller, I don't... Stand down!
So we had got tickets to see this movie together, and to be fair, all I knew that it was a comedy, rated R, 69% of Rotten Tomatoes. And Julia's like, oh, we're in theater 7, so we go in theater 7, and then when the movie's starting, we were in the wrong theater for the Suicide Squad, which we've all seen. So then we went to theater 8 where we were supposed to go, and I'm telling you, bro, this movie was so awful in the first 5 minutes that all of us were like, let's just go back and see Suicide Squad instead. So for the second time through, what do you think Suicide Squad out of 10?
I give Suicide Squad like a 10 out of 10. That first movie, I give a 1 out of 10.
What's that, 7?
For Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I was impressed. The first time I watched it, I fell asleep, but this time I would say like a 7.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna stick to my original 9 out of 10. It's a great movie. Don't go see Together. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you, bro. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, click subscribe and turn notifications on, because I drop 2 new videos every single week and you don't want to miss them. I will talk to all of y'all in the next video. Stay beast.